My mother told me I would never be a good mother. You'll never be a good mother, my mother said the day I left the hospital with my daughter in my arms. It wasn't a shout nor an insult said in the heat of the moment. It was a sentence delivered in such a cold tone that it froze me. Outside, it was raining and I was holding Emma wrapped in a blanket, trying to keep her dry. Why would you say that? I asked, my voice breaking. Because you don't have patience. Because you don't even know how to take care of yourself. And because raising a child takes sacrifice, something you've never been able to do, she replied, as if stating an obvious fact. I didn't answer. I was afraid that anything I said would become proof of what she claimed. From that moment on, she began to supervise everything I did. If Emma cried, she would snatch her from my arms to show me how a real baby is calmed. If I bathed her, she told me the water temperature was wrong. If I tried to put her to sleep, she accused me of moving her too much. Every correction came with a look of disappointment, as if confirming her diagnosis. 2 weeks later, she even suggested that I take a few days off and leave the baby with her. I refused. The argument ended with her shouting that I was clinging to Emma like a leech and that I was going to make her insecure. That night, she locked herself in her room and didn't speak to me until the next day. When Emma was 3 months old, she came down with bronchiolitis. I spent 3 sleepless nights on the couch, holding her against my chest so she could breathe more easily. My mother, instead of helping, accused me of being overdramatic for not taking her to the hospital at the first sneeze. But when I did take her and the doctor told me I had done the right thing, she simply said it was pure luck. The tension kept growing. Whenever someone came to visit, my mother would make little comments about how clumsy I was at motherhood. She'd say them with a smile as if they were jokes, but I could see the pity in people's eyes. One day when Emma was 8 months old, my mother made a decision without asking me. She cut her hair. She said it was so it would grow stronger. I walked into the kitchen and found the strands on the table. I yelled at her that she had no right, and she calmly replied, "If you were a good mother, you would have noticed sooner that the hair was bothering her face." After that, I started setting boundaries. I wouldn't leave Emma alone with her. I wouldn't take unsolicited advice. And above all, I began to trust my own instincts. I learned every expression of my daughter's, every different cry, every way to comfort her. The final break came when Emma began taking her first steps. I was encouraging her from the other side of the living room, arms open. She took 3 small steps and threw herself into my arms. My mother, sitting on the couch, let out a huff and said, "We'll see how long your patience lasts when she starts running all over the house." I didn't respond. I just hugged Emma and told her she was doing amazing. She smiled at me with a mouth full of new teeth. And in that moment, I knew that whatever my mother thought no longer mattered. Months passed. Emma turned 2.5. We threw a small garden party. Friends, neighbors, and some family came, including my mother. I watched my daughter run from one side to the other, confident, happy, laughing with her little friends. I kept an eye on everything, making sure no one fell, that the food was ready, that Emma didn't feel overwhelmed. At one point, I saw her trip and fall. I ran to her, picked her up, checked her knees, and kissed her. Emma went back to running as if nothing had happened. When I looked up, my mother was watching me, not with disapproval, but with something that looked like surprise. At the end of the party, while I was putting away the dishes, she came up to me and quietly said, "I don't know how you do it. That little girl is happy. Happier than you ever were." I didn't answer. I didn't want her words to become a door for her to try to step back into my way of raising my child. But that night, as I tucked Emma in and she told me, "I love you, Mom," I knew that even if my mother never admitted it openly, I had already proven the opposite of everything she had said.